Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about season 3 of the Stranger Things. I'm just going to be giving a little bit of reviews and thoughts about what happened in season 3. Obviously this will contain mild spoilers, but I just really need to vent. There's just some things that didn't settle right with me, and what is the channel for? So it's gonna be another review, Stranger Things. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? It's been 1 week. That's like 168 hours. You've had to finish 8 episodes and watch this video. Season 3. We have season 3, very different from season 2. I was watching them on Jimmy Fallon and he was like, oh, describe one word for this new season. And obviously it was before the season came out, so they couldn't really give much away. There's a character who played Lucas, and he said, I believe, don't quote me, but he said gory, and that is one thing. Like, this season was super gory, like more gory than any of the other seasons, because I remember getting like goosebumps at one point. There was a point in time where there was 2 of the characters who had something controlling them. I won't say what it was, but you could see the veins, like the veins all, thinking about it literally gives me goosebumps because it was gross, like just gross. So he was very correct on that, gory. But anyways, I just have a little bit of issues with this season because I felt like they went super fast, and there's a lot of mixed reviews. I was reading a lot of reviews because that's how I do my research, to see like what other people think too, and see if like our ideals match up or if someone else thought something different. There was a lot of people who are like, we didn't like it, they should have done without it. I'm kind of in the middle. I think that this season was good, but there was some things that threw me off. And some things that threw me off was really like Elle's character development. She, in this season 2, I was like, she hardly spoke. Like, I think she was saying like certain words, but she didn't speak. And then in this season, she honestly, she talks, but how do I explain this? She talks like a normal person, but you could still tell that she has like a speech issue. But in certain scenes, I'm like, honestly, this is Millie Bobby Brown talking without her accent, because the sentences she was saying, I was like, how did Elle learn so fast? Especially like she wasn't in school. It didn't really show Hopper teaching her stuff. Anyways, that was a really big issue that I had, that they really advanced her character. I don't think it really followed the storyline, because from last season she barely spoke, and now this season she basically can have full conversations and full sentences, but they're still trying to show that she has a speech issue. But in some scenes, she just talks perfectly fine. Next, I did not like how they really coupled all of the characters together and essentially leaving Will out. So you have Mike and Elle, they're in a relationship, and they were doing the most. Like, obviously teenagers in a relationship do the most, but for the season, I felt like they really downplayed Mike's character because of the fact that he was in the relationship. In the previous seasons, you could tell like he was the leader. He was the one who was like, okay guys, we're gonna help Will, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like, he was the leader. But in this season, like I said, they really downplayed his character because he was just focused on Elle. Point blank. He wasn't the leader that he would be. He was focused on her. All he cared about was her. All he cared to do was hang out with her, kiss her, yada yada yada. which obviously shows teenagers what they do. But to have such a strong character for the first 2 seasons and then just downplay his character in season 3, I did not like that. And then you have Lucas too, which for me, he didn't really have like a major role. For me, he didn't do much this season. Like, he was there, he was with Max, he talked a couple bit. Me personally, I was like, it's just there. Like, he's just a part of the group. Point blank period. So now we have Elle too, and Elle, she, like I was saying, they kind of changed her up. She was able to talk, she was able to do this, she became very independent, also clinging to Mike. She still did awesome this season. Her acting was awesome. She really showed out in certain things with her powers and whatnot, but I didn't like that they really had a focus on her relationship too with Mike, just because it just kind of threw the season off with all these relationships. I also have my phone here just like for notes that I had written down just so I can know everything that I'm gonna say. Another thing that I really liked was like the effects, because of the Mind Flayer. When you see him, like the effects for this gory, gruesome monster was awesome. They did a fantastic job with the effects on this monster. So if you guys are super into effects and you haven't seen it yet, A1. Also in this season, you can see they really made it more fun. Elle and Max even go shopping. So it's intense, but it's not as intense as the previous seasons. You see a lot just more lighthearted stuff. They even have the fair going on and fireworks and stuff like that. So all of that wasn't happening in season 1 and 2. And season 3, you could see like they more lighten it up within the scenes. So the really thing I loved about this season was Dustin, Erica, Steve, and Robin's storyline. It really basically created another dynamic group within the series. Awesome. Erica, salute to you, sister, because she did awesome. At first I was like, who is this little girl? But Erica is Lucas's little sister. I do remember in the previous seasons they showed that he has like a big family, but I didn't know Erica was his sister, and she basically held down the fort. Like, she was in charge, she let them know. Smart little girl, awesome acting. Their friendship dynamic was awesome, even though they all kind of just met, besides obviously Dustin and Steve, who already had this bromance. But then they just created this awesome friendship. I wouldn't say friendship, but to me, they wouldn't consider themselves friends besides Robin and Erica was like, nah, like, these people are not my friends. But at the end, you see, you know, Dustin gives her a gift and she's very happy about it. So obviously there is some type of friendship, but Erica would never admit to it. But that is the awesome part about the dynamic of their group. They had their own situation. If you watched it, obviously they had their own situation going on, and they worked very well together. It's almost like how all of them worked very well together in season 1, trying to find Will, but just a whole different group now. We also have little Will, who's been struggling since season 1, but a lot of people were saying, and I can really agree to this, that they really downplayed his character in season 3. He struggled so much in season 1 and 2, so obviously the writers probably given him a break. But like, when I come to think of it, him and his mother literally have been going through it since season 1. It's her boyfriend last season. This season, she is just frantic all the time because now she believes the Mind Flayer is back too, because certain weird things are happening to her in her household that happened before, and they just never got a break. But especially for Will's character this season, they really downplayed him. He wasn't the star of the show. For the past 2 seasons, you know, it has been focused on Will, and his character development was awesome, and now in season 3 they just cut him off. Mike is in a relationship, Lucas is in a relationship, Dustin's in a relationship, and Will is by himself. He still wants to play D&D. All of them want to be around their girlfriends. Dustin is basically nowhere to be found for half the season. He's with Erica and them. Like I said before, their group was awesome, but the dynamic of the group really changed because everyone was off doing their own thing, but especially it left Will out in the dark by himself. No one wants to play with him. No one wants to be, you know, how they were, like children. I saw this thing on Twitter. I'll insert it somewhere on the screen, but it says, "Not gonna lie, I would have loved to see more emphasis on why he clings onto his childhood in season 3. He does it for obvious reasons, but we deserve to see the emotional deep dive into Will's feelings about being robbed of a normal adolescence and clinging onto it as his friends moved on." And I love that because it's so true. You see how much Will still just wants to be a kid. And to answer your question, I really think it's because of all the stuff that happened in season 1. He was robbed of so many stuff that he wants to still be a kid. He wants to not grow up. He wants to feel safe before everything happened. When him and his friends were just playing games, all that stuff. And then when season 1 happened and then season 2 happened, it's like, okay, season 3, everything is gone. So now we could go back to the way life was before, when we were just kids, having fun. And he's clinging on to that while everyone else is growing up, having girlfriends, making out, all that stuff. Another great part of season 3 is like at the end, in the last episode, you finally see Destin's girlfriend Susie, because at first they all believed that she wasn't real because he could never even get connected with her. But once he finally got connected with her, he needed her help with something, and she was like, "Only if you do this." And that this was a musical act, and honestly, that was probably one of the best scenes of season 3 because there was so much going on. Like, when he's asking her for this favor, it's basically a matter of life or death, and she's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna do it unless you do it with me." And he's like, "No, like, it's serious, like, you need to tell me this particular thing." And she's like, "Nope, nope, nope." So they're all on radios, and you hear them burst out into this musical number, and the song is really catchy and fun and cute, but it's so funny because there's just so much going on in that one scene, and everyone is literally just like staring at Dustin or listening to him, and they're like, what in the world is going on? Especially because since there's so much going on at that point and moment, and this guy is really singing his heart out. If I can enter a clip, I will, but
turn around, look at what you see in her face.
It was super cute, super awesome. I love that they added that in there because it broke a little bit of tension and made it funny. I know I'm a little bit all over the place with this review, but we can also talk about Billy. I think he really did good this season just because of the major role he played and the character he played. I wish they would have given more details into his background story. I mean, they showed about his father and what his father had did to him, but I wish they really got in super detail about it because I feel like there was missing parts. Anyways, also Nancy and Jonathan, their characters, they're minor characters to me now, sort of, because they didn't really have a big role. They were in it, of course, but they worked at this paper. Nancy was treated like trash. She wanted to be Nancy Drew, just like they were saying I could not agree more with, because she was doing something that was not a part of her job. So that's all I have to say about that. Jonathan, minor character role too, just following Nancy, same thing. It's kind of funny because since Nancy is Mike's sister, Nancy has Jonathan following him everywhere, and then Elle has Mike following him everywhere, because Mike, like I said before, he just went off this season. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Let me know what you guys thought about season 3. Obviously, there's a lot of pros and cons. Do you guys think they should make a season 4? Let me know, because the way they ended it, I think obviously there is going to be a season 4, but do you think it's the right thing to do? They could have ended at season 3, to be honest. But let me know. I like to hear your guys' thoughts and comments. So, like you guys know, don't forget the drill. I post new videos every single Wednesday. I'll see you guys next week.